What's up, cats and kittens? Hello, my precious babies. How y'all doing out there today? Welcome to the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the safe space where we set oppression ablaze in belief and knowing in our heart and in our souls and in our spirits that something better can arise from out of the ashes of this hopefully capitalist hellscape that we live in. I want this bitch to burn down. I want to laugh. I want to Angela Bassett at Waiting to Exhale, toss my lighter into the motherfucking BMW with all the Versace clothes and watch them shits go up in flames. Yes, that's the kind of burn it down I'm talking about, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to our Friday program. Thank you all so much for showing up for us. Oh shit, I done forgot to get my ass up here in the chat with y'all so I can see what's really going on. I don't even know who we got in here today. That's who I'm about to find out. Guys, we are in the midst of summer. We are pretty much in summer's grasp, as it were. We're seeing a lot of record-breaking temperatures across the country, including a lot of climate disasters. Let's call the shit what it is. Heat is killing a lot of people out here, as are wildfires. And I just want to know that I want to let you guys know that I'm very appreciative that y'all show up and consume what we have to offer here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown. And today, guys, is a bit of a special day. First of all, we have a wonderful show program coming up for you. But before we even get into the show rundown, before I even tell y'all what we're talking about today, I wanted to first express thanks and gratitude to be able to sit here with my hip hop records and my rock records on the wall and talk all the shit that I want to about all the elected officials and non-elected officials and people in power and those who have a large influence over the way our lives are led. I wouldn't be able to do that if it weren't for Ida B. Wells, right? Ida B. Wells, the baddest bitch walking in this country in the past 150 years. Put some respect on Ida B.'s name. Today is Ida B. Wells' birthday. And there was a lot on the YouTube of Ida B. Wells, and mostly people reading her editorials from her paper. But I am a little partial to animation. I'm not gonna lie. And I love it when historical stuff is animated, right? That is the child in me. Things sort of resonate better with me when shit is animated. So the New York Historical Society put together this it's brief, but it's comprehensive to be so brief, just 2 minutes and some change. A tiny sliver of a biography defining Ida B. Wells's life, and just a tiny bit of the insane, racist, violent shit that she faced while working to expose the horrors of lynching, working to expose the fact that, you know what? These black men are not necessarily out here raping these white women. These white women is electing to have these sexual relationships with black men. And maybe black men should not be lynched solely for that. So take a look at this quick, pretty well done. There's only one piece of this animated tale of Ida B. Wells that I disagree with. And I'm wondering if you guys will be able to pick it up as well. And I'll tell you what it is once we watch it. But for the most part, I thought it was comprehensive given the time constraints, as it were. So please, guys, join me as we wish Ida B. Wells a happy birthday.
Exposing the horrors of racism in the American South wasn't easy, but investigative journalist Ida B. Wells made it her mission. Ida was born into slavery in 1862. After the Civil War, her family gained their freedom. Ida came of age during Reconstruction, a period of hope. But when she was 16, Ida's parents and baby brother tragically died in a yellow fever epidemic. At first, Ida cared for her younger siblings, but eventually moved in with her aunt in Memphis, Tennessee, where her career in journalism began. In 1889, Ida bought a share in the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight, becoming the first female co-owner and editor of a black newspaper in the United States. Her goal was to create material about black people for black people. On March 9, 1892, a racist white mob lynched Ida's friend Thomas Moss and 2 of his colleagues. Thomas had run a successful grocery store, which the white people found threatening. Motivated by the horrific murder of her friend, Ida channeled her fear and anger into her work and started a crusade against lynching in America. It made Ida a target. When she wrote an editorial arguing that white women could, in fact, be attracted to black men, challenging a key myth that racists used to justify their actions, a mob burned down her office, forcing Ida to flee to the north. There, Ida continued to raise awareness about the extent of lynching in America, something many people in the North simply did not know about. She documented 728 lynching cases between 1884 and 1892, wrote pamphlets to share her findings across the country, and in 1922 publicly supported an anti-lynching bill that went before Congress. Nearly a century later, Congress continues to debate legislation to make lynching a federal crime. As of 2019, only the House of Representatives had passed the bill. By using her pen to arouse the conscience of America, Ida B. Wells helped to expose racism and injustice and remains an inspiration to journalists everywhere.
Again, happy birthday to Ida B. Wells, that video produced by the New York Historical Society. I love it when I'm hearing like white narrators like talk shit about white people at the same time. The white lady was like, and the white people was not happy with the black people owning stores. I'm like, yeah, white lady, tell them. What's the part about that piece, which again, I thought was pretty decent considering the duration. What do y'all think about that piece that I kind of took issue with? The part where when Ida retreated to the north and the narrator said that she began writing about stories about lynching, something that people in the north didn't know about. Bullshit, okay? Black people got lynched in every single state in this country. Please believe it, whether or not it's on the record or if it's not on the record. Black folks were lynched everywhere. So that's a tad bit just disingenuous of the New York Historical Society to say that white people in the North were not as familiar with black people being lynched. That's bullshit. So there's that. So I wanted to just take a moment to thank the legacy of Ida B. Wells. Y'all, Ida B. Wells, y'all, the racist was trying to get Ida B. for a long time. They had bounties on her head. They had posses looking for Ida B. She was too swift up on her toes to get caught up with these hoes. And then you got to respect that. I love it. Anytime a black woman is able to beat the system sort of at its own game, or to beat the agents of the system, right? Oh, the race was trying to get Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells says she ain't here for the shit. Okie dokie. So guys, coming up on today's show, I think we're ready to proceed into the program. Hold on. I see a bunch of people in here. What's going on? Fanny French, what's up, Ms. Nori? I see Rain DeSud in here. Courtney the SLP Pimp C is in the building. Kev Z 24/7. Franco, what's up, Big Teal? We got our people in here. Northern Witch is in here. Will is in here. Everybody's in here. Listen, guys, do me a favor. If you have not already, which I know all y'all have, because y'all follow directions very well. Smash the subscribe button and go on and get us some likes up on this junk too. Where we at likes wise? Yeah, the math ain't mathing right now. I see we got about 60 plus up in here. I only see 34 likes now. I didn't excel at the Pythagorean theorem. I wasn't a scholar so much in the mathematics, but I do know there's a difference between 62 and 34. And if y'all could help us close that difference, I would certainly appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much, Big Till, and shout out to Chuck Diesel up in here as well. What's up, Gypsy Mama? I love it. Look at all the people. Torches and pitchforks is up in this bitch. What the fuck is Afraid Not? Pookiewood, where you been at? Never been looking for your ass, Pookiewood. But thank you all so much. I know we have a lot of triple dippers up in here, meaning we got Fire Fams, we got Clickbaity folks, we got Black Power Media folks. So thank you all for helping to feed this Black people generated media ecosystem. It is so important. We appreciate y'all supporting everything that we do. And speaking of clickbaity, if the nigga was telling me the truth, Marcus is going to be with us at 5:30, guys. Marcus Ferrell, co-host of Clickbaity, the political thirst trap. Marcus said, can I hop up on the show with you today, Kim? I said, Marcus, anytime, bro. That ain't even, you ain't even got to ask. Marcus, mi casa es su casa, aquí, Marcus. So Marcus is going to hop on with us. We're going to talk about some races that Black progressives are in. First and foremostly, we talking about that Ohio 11th district congressional race with my homie Nina Turner handling biz. But the problem is the establishment Democrats are really getting behind her opponent, Shontel Brown. And according to the latest polls, Nina had a nice little stretch on Shontel, but that gap is closing. And the polls are open right now for early voting, but the primary, I believe, is August the 3rd. That sounds about right. To replace Marcia Fudge, who obviously took a cabinet position in the Biden administration. So we're talking about that. But we're also going to talk about Attica Scott in Kentucky announced her congressional bid. Ooh, ooh. And what's up with that Bama in New York City? Eric Adams. I don't know. Something about that dude did not look correct in the light. He looked funny in the light. and we're going to talk about all that with Marcus. Also, we're going to discuss other things, including a segment that I just thought about today. And like I said, I need to run it by everybody else to see if they concur. But I'm thinking about doing a weekly segment called Cops Ain't Shit. Now, let's be clear. Our good friends over at the Police Accountability Report, Stephen Janice and Taya Graham. First of all, if y'all have not subscribed to the Police Accountability Report, please go do so. Stephen and Taya do amazing work exposing police fuckery nationwide. They have done just an incredible thing over there at the place that I used to work at. I can't remember its name, but they have their own channel, Police Accountability Report. So I said that to say my cops ain't shit is not exactly the Police Accountability Report. It is not nearly as thorough and as comprehensive as what Stephen and Taya do. This is literally me giving y'all instances, which are plenty and multiple and easily found, of the cops literally not being shit. So that's coming up today in the program. But first, I want to start off with the least sexiest of topics. And I know some of y'all are going to log the fuck out when I start talking about COVID. But ladies and gentlemen, and theys, COVID is still out here jumping on people, okay? And clearly, according to the Centers for Disease Control, COVID is out here jumping on the unvaccinated at ungodly rates, and not even Okay, that's a little exaggeration. I think maybe ungodly rates. Maybe it is just jumping on people at godly rates. Maybe not ungodly rates. But the cases are up significantly over the past couple of weeks, and some scientists and doctors are speculating that what we're seeing is a July 4th bump. Right? This is the increase in cases from people being social, hanging out during the July 4th holiday. Where I hope y'all burn some flags, but that's neither here nor there. But here's the issue, guys. As our society continues to display that we do not know fully how this virus works, okay? This is not the flu. This is not, this is a version of SARS, but this is like SARS 2.0. That's what they call it, SARS COVID-2, right? This is some shit that we have not quite dealt with, and it shut the entire globe down for over a year. And it's not over, right? As they're getting ready to begin the Olympics next Friday in Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo's on lockdown. South Korea on lockdown. Sydney, Australia on lockdown. And you know where our simple asses is going to be in about 2 to 4 weeks? On lockdown. Because we are out here playing with this virus and we do not fully understand how this virus is operating. But the Delta variant is seemingly giving scientists and doctors some pause, but not enough pause for them to tell you to keep wearing masks indoors. And this is where we're going to get into the hodgepodge of American health policy, where we have the federal government in the form of the Centers for Disease Control saying one thing, and then we have local governments saying and doing completely different things. So in the state of Texas, that bitch ass nigga, Greg Abbott, the governor, Pookie Wood, help me out on this. Didn't Greg Abbott make a law that businesses could not mandate mask wearing? I mean, I know that sounds outrageously crazy, but if Genevieve and Pookie Wood could fact check me on that, I don't think I'm lying about that. I think my marijuana brain got that 100% correct. However, Tunde, if you could please pop up that tweet for me from Shot on 35 millimeter, because y'all, Los Angeles, on the other hand, the county of Los Angeles says, you know what? We have seen a bunch of cases in a short amount of time. Perhaps it is best if people resume indoor mask wearing, even if they are vaccinated. Here we go. Where I go? Nope, that's not it. Ain't this a boot? Oh, ain't this a bitch? Pop that up for me today, because I thought I had took a screenshot of it. But the bottom line is the Los Angeles County Department of Health is starting Saturday night at 11:59 is going to make it mandatory that people wear masks indoors, regardless of whether or not they are vaccinated. Okay. This probably should have been the national policy ongoing. We never really should have stopped wearing masks. And guys, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I am afraid for y'all's kids. I really am, because with kids under the age of 12 not being able to receive the vaccination, and by everything I can tell, it is full steam ahead with reopening schools in just a few short weeks. And many places are going ahead with full in-person learning. I'm not comfortable with that. I want us to take a look at a snippet of an interview with the head of the CDC, Rochelle Walensky. She was talking to NBC News' Lester Holt about the Delta variant and about what the CDC's guidance is on masking and whether or not schools should be opening up business as usual. Tunde, if we could take a look at that, please.
Mario. You have been very bullish on the idea of getting kids back in school for the fall. Watching what this Delta variant is doing right now, and the knowledge now that it could be winter time next year before younger kids are eligible for a vaccine, is there any consideration, any scenario in which you might want to reverse yourself on reopening schools?
I remain emphatic that our schools need to open in the fall. They need to open for full in-person learning. We know how to keep our children safe. If they're eligible for vaccination, we can keep them safe by being vaccinated. If they're not eligible for vaccination, we can keep them safe in two important ways. Surround them with people who are vaccinated, and when they go to school, put a mask on.
Is it time to consider or offer more consideration to masking up even vaccinated people in indoor settings?
These vaccines work. They generally work against the Delta variant in preventing severe hospitalization and death. In terms of masking, those are going to be personal decisions as you engage outside in other activities.
CDC is not recommending people who are fully vaccinated wear masks.
We are not.
Yeah.
One actual exception to that I want to just be clear about, and that is if you are immunosuppressed, those people, we've always said, please continue to wear a mask and consult your doctor.
What level of concern are you at right now?
I don't like to see our cases rising. We haven't seen this amount of cases for months. I'm very concerned.
That was Dr. Rochelle Walensky, head of the CDC, speaking with NBC News' Lester Holt. And she said she's very concerned, but not that concerned. Y'all can still go around maskless indoors if you're vaccinated. And when it comes to the issue of reopening schools, Pookie Wood, first of all, thank you very much for that. Pookie Wood confirmed what my marijuana brain already knew, that nigga Greg Abbott forbade public school systems to mandate mask requirements on campuses for this coming school year. It sounds like a tafali. It sounds like crazy talk. And especially for y'all with kids, man, I am concerned. And this is what really bothers me about some of the language and the guidance coming from the CDC, because it assumes a whole lot, right? Like Rochelle Walensky said, oh, we know how to protect the kids. We have to make sure we surround them with vaccinated people first. Let me stop you right there, shawty. I don't think all public school systems are mandating that their school staff return to school campuses fully vaccinated. I think that is definitely a system to system thing, a state to state thing. And we know that some of the states that we live in this here country are just basing their policy on simple gobbledygook, right? Because they don't feel like wearing masks. And then because they don't feel as though they should be compelled to get a vaccine, they just won't do it. And Rochelle Walensky is assuming a lot. She's assuming that all school systems are going to mandate vaccinations for their staff and for their teachers. And that's not the case. Part of the other CDC guidelines when it comes to allowing full in-person learning for students is that the school buildings have the proper ventilation and the proper air filtration and the proper amount of air circulation. Problem is, a lot of the schools that our children attend, or a lot of the schools that lower income children attend, don't have proper ventilation. They're already in very old, crumbling, decrepit buildings. Baltimore City is a perfect example. Before schools let out in the spring, 30 schools in Baltimore City had to close. Why? Because they didn't have air conditioning. Let me repeat that. They didn't have air conditioning. Students and teachers were forced to sit in classrooms in temperatures north of 80 degrees, in some instances even higher than that. So explain to me how any of these older, decrepit, not technologically advanced, when I say technologically advanced, I'm talking about they have not been upgraded. Their HVAC systems have not been upgraded. I don't know if they have the proper air filtration. I mean, how are you supposed to send your child to learn in that kind of environment if, one, the air even don't work, and then they're going to try to keep themselves safe versus this virus that kids under 12 cannot get a vaccination for, okay? And even the kids who are between the ages of, say, 12 and 15, 12 and 16, some estimates only a third of those children have received vaccinations. So parents, are y'all okay? Sending y'all kids back to school? Are y'all going to be zooming it up again this fall? Because let me explain. If I was hearing this shit from the CDC, from bitch ass niggas like Greg Abbott, from uncertain situations, like these school systems are not necessarily on the same page. They are not issuing like uniform standards and guidelines about how the safe reopening is going to go. Man, are you going to send y'all kids to school? Please, got to give them a N95 mask. You better send little Johnny up in there with the whole CPAP machine. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, America don't give a shit if the kids live or die out here. And listen, before the first person to pop up in here and tell me, well, Kim, there's been very minimal transmission rates amongst children. I get that. But also keep in mind, the kids was held hostage at home for a majority of the year. What are you telling me here today? I'm sorry. Marcus is here? Oh, Marcus is here. Fuck it. Let's bring Marcus on. Marcus ain't got no kids. Me and Marcus' childless ass is about to talk all the shit to all the parents. Okay, that's cool. I'll keep talking. Marcus is standing by, y'all. So clickbaity folks, y'all stay right here. Radical Leftist Agenda, thank you so much for your support. Radical Leftist Agenda says, reminder, Medicare for All marches on July 24th, many cities. Same day, Nina Turner and AOC decided to plan actions, and they are not endorsing the Medicare for All marches. Something to think about. I will think about that, Radical Leftist Agenda. I'd like to know the reasons behind that. I was not quite familiar with that, but thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. Back to the issue of kids. Okay, Marcus, can we bring in Marcus? Everybody, I see the squirrel. I see the squirrels popping up in the chat, so y'all already know what it is. Guys, it is the co-host of the infamous Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. You know him. He's the biggest weed seller out here. He out here selling this political consultancy. Marcus got it all, y'all. Welcome, Marcus Ferrell. Marcus.
Hey, burn it down. Burn it down. That's D-I-N, I believe is the right. Burn it down in my Tallahassee accent. All the way live from Atlanta, Georgia. I am back with my fucking sister from another Mr. Kim Brown, man. Like, yo, listen, this woman makes me happy. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I need to, you know, Kim, we need to go on a date or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, Marcus, maybe I need to do all this political shit. You be doing all this political shit, but guess who don't get text when Marcus is in DC?
Oh yeah, no, because my black ass don't go. I don't go nowhere. Okay, I'm capping. I go a lot of places. But,
I know this.
but I don't go to DC, dog, because you know what I mean. Like going to DC after COVID is sort of like going outside in Atlanta. Niggas are shooting each other, so I'm straight. I just want to lie. I just want to live. That's all I want to do. You know what I'm talking about?
Man. Yeah, well, they are doing a nice amount of shooting around here. I'm not going to even lie. They just shot up some shit literally up the street from me in Hyattsville. They shot up the motherfucking busboys and poets up at Hyattsville. So yes, the block is a little hot right now, so I can understand it. But I can appreciate your cautiousness and not wanting to just be out here traveling willy-nilly, Marcus, when it comes to this COVID thing. And like I was talking to people before we brought you on. Marcus, I don't think that you're nobody's daddy. I mean, I might be wrong. Shit might have changed since last time we spoke. I mean, Marcus, you know a lot of people with kids, man. And I know people are having these conversations in their families and in their communities about school is about to reopen and COVID is still out here jumping on people. And the CDC is giving us sort of mixed guidance, saying that they don't think that masks are necessary indoors for people who are fully vaccinated, but the people in Los Angeles County have just re-implemented mandatory mask wearing indoors, even if you are vaccinated, because they've seen such a spike in cases. So what are your thoughts about the plan or the lack of a plan for how American schools and American children and American families are going to deal with this virus when school reopens in just a few short weeks? Yeah,
we need to, we can't necessarily trust government to make up our mind about our health and our physical capacity. Now, here's one thing that I do know. They say that the Moderna strand is doing much better against the Delta variant than the Pfizer strand. But whatever the case might be, Negroes and people need to think with common sense. I was in California earlier this week, and the difference between Georgia and California is that Georgia never acted like they were in a lockdown in comparison to California, which, you know, all this free spiritedness that's in California and this, that, and the other. I got a stark reminder that Cali was really locked down. Like they shut things down, and they were quick to shut things down in comparison to what I'm used to in Georgia, where it's like, hey, bro, you want to go to brunch? Yeah, leave those masks at home. Let's go raw dog. Let's just go raw. Let's just go raw. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yes. And listen. Going out right now, to me, still without a mask, still feels like you're having sex with a prostitute without a condom on. Ooh. I swear to God, like that's, and I don't even know what that feels like, but that's something that I just wouldn't do. So what I'm thinking in general is like we got to protect ourselves. And I'm not gonna go too Hotep-ish, but I am gonna go a little Hotep-y, right? Go get vaccinated, and here's my Hotep part. Don't trust the government for anything. It's like y'all waiting for the government to pass a stimulus bill or waiting for the government to pass these are the same people who told you reparations was on the books, right? And
Marcus, I'm so concerned because so obviously I'm concerned because the CDC's really their reputation is in shambles post-Trump, right? Like, I mean, they did so much lying and talking out of their neck and, trying to tailor their messaging to accommodate what the business community wanted in terms of reopening and getting schools back open, et cetera. So I'm not fully trusting the CDC. I'm echoing your sentiments there, but I'm seeing anecdotally on social media stories about people who are vaccinated and still getting sick. And that is what's really causing me a lot of concern, because what the scientists say is because we have these clusters of unvaccinated regions, right? Arkansas, Oklahoma, dang, Georgia's on there too, Texas, really just the lot of the South. And I'm so sorry to put the South, I ain't one of them stereotypical of the South nigga. No. Anyway, but that's where the shit is, right? So the problem is the fucking virus amongst unvaccinated people, that joint starts remixing itself, right? So we got the Delta remix. We're going to have the Lambda remix. There's going to be all kinds of remixes floating around. And those remixes could outsmart the vaccine. And that is what scares me. So there are so many unvaccinated people that they're allowing the virus to flourish and mutate even more, that it could out hustle the vaccine. And then we are seriously fucked.
My business partner went absent on me last week, Kim, and I was like, oh God, what's going on? The last thing I heard from him was him and his family were going to the beach, right, for a little beach vacation. And he calls me back late, like right when I got back from LA, and he's like, yeah, Marcus, my whole family got COVID. And I'm like, so, you guys didn't get vaccinated? He was like, of course we got vaccinated. And we are down, and we were down bad. And one of my children had to go to the ER, and we just got him back out, and we have to go back into 2020 basically with our lifestyle, because I don't trust anything anymore after this. What you don't want to see is a bunch of people who have gotten comfortable. And it's funny because you see America has turned into this place where it's like, all right, we're free now, right? It's open, it's over with, right? Let's go to like a nigga invited me to the movies, Kim, and I'm like, yo, what I mean? Like people are going to the movies and going and going places, and
like outside, like the movies outside?
Like real outside. Shit. And we got to rethink it, and we got a little too used to it already, because we want to get back to normalizing, but we got to also not be a victim of toxic capitalism that will put their money before our health. Right. And that's what the CBC fell down into. That's what the CDC fell down into. That's what and these black elected officials, they should know better in general. Right. Like they get information 4 or 5 days before we even get it. And they know that shit is just looming and it's spreading. Are they talking about that? No, they're not talking about that, because they want the economy to continue to grow and this, that, and the other. And to be quite honest with you, like, shame on them. And I'm going back into lockdown here soon.
I'm gonna be right behind you, Chief, because I'm afraid of COVID. like COVID, that bitch don't have shit to prove to me. That's a bad bitch. Okay, she'll fuck you up and not even think twice about it. Okay, so I give COVID all the respect due. So I don't know, Marcus. It's just a reminder again that America is so far off the rails. America is so devoid of prioritizing the health of its citizens above profits, right? Like that's never going to happen. Right. And at 607,000 confirmed deaths, even though that number is probably much closer to 1 million deaths in the United States. By the way, we still lead the world with COVID deaths. Like, we're number one. Like, nobody's had more people die from COVID than the United States. So y'all, especially Black folks, especially vulnerable people, poor people, please just don't be out here sending your kids out here willy-nilly. And I know it's hard because you got to work. All the eviction protections are coming to a close. You know what I mean? All the assistance that have been given out to help people during the pandemic are coming to a cease. And they're going to try to make you send your kids to school, man. But please, I mean, all I can think about is the first child in the state of Maryland to die from COVID was a teenage Black girl. And it's going to be our kids that are going to be getting hit hard with this virus, because the white kids their parents got good insurance. Okay,
that's right. That's right. They didn't want your poor ass to get Medicare for all. And right, like America's like Jay-Z in the elevator, and COVID's like Solange.
Oh shit! Smack the shit out you numerous times.
Yeah. Like you gonna try to hold.
Yo, All right, hold on, Marcus. So listen. I'm so glad you're here. Like I seldom, and I know everyone that's watching is like, see, Kim, you need somebody to come hang out with you and just shoot the shit sometimes. Yeah, this is nice. I'm so glad you're here, Marcus. I want us to what?
I'm happy I'm here. Yeah, and plus Kim, I'm gonna tell you something. You be doing me like him downstairs sometimes. Like, hey Kim, I want to come on the show. Yeah, right, whatever, nigga.
Look. Here's a funny thing. So Tune hit me up this morning. He said, yeah, Marcus reached out and said he wanted to do it. I'm like, yes, okay, yes. Marcus is yes. Awesome. And I was like, and so before we went on live, I was like, yeah, I said, man, that's really random. Marcus reached out, and Tune was like, my bad. Marcus had actually expressed that he wanted to come on the show before, and I just forgot to tell you. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, look, Marcus don't even really have to ask. Marcus could just beep and just be like, yep, I'm in the waiting room. Can I get in? I'm like,
I'm
yes,
happy to be here with you, sis. Every single time, man. Like, this is good commentary. This is fun stuff. And you see, hold on, my environment has evolved a little. I got more pictures.
Let me see. Let me look at you. Let me look at your beautiful face.
So right over here is Cornell West. I mean, right there is Cornell West.
You got your cabaret hat on, I see.
You know what I'm talking about. And then hold on, down here's my little vote. I got all my little Funko Pops right around there and shit like that. And then all of my little pictures are over here of like my wall of fame and my
yes.
Yeah, this is my little neoliberal wall of fame right there. Like all my neoliberal all-stars up there, Maxine and let's see who else is up there. John Lewis. I got pictures. I mean, I'll show later on afterwards. And also we have an AMA tonight on Patreon. So if y'all really want to see some real shit. Yes.
If y'all are patrons of Clickbaity and them, go hang out with their AMA. And Marcus, I'm telling you, all I'm seeing is a woman's touch behind you, bro. Because
no, this is obviously my Metro side then, because this was
you
all
did
me.
that.
Yes,
you did that.
I mean, hold on. Let me go ahead and mail it up, right? So I did get some rims for my Jeep, and they're blue. So it's like super like ghetto rat fabulous Jeep that I got right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like, it makes certain people jealous, and I might get robbed. Therefore, I need to move from where I live at. But check this out. I'm just gonna turn it real quick and tune. They tell me if I'm wrong or not. You see that over there? That's a bunch of tires. You see tires over there? So it ain't completely all bougie yet, because I got tires in the middle. I got tires. Yeah,
that's a bachelor pad move, man. Because I'd be like, nigga, you better get these motherfucking tires. I'm a goddamn. Them shits have got to go. They have got to go.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I'm debating on where I want to go to next here with you, Marcus, because you're so flexible. We can go around the world and do some things. Should we talk about cops ain't shit, or should we talk about that Ohio 11th congressional race?
Ohio, because I'm not like I need to talk about Ohio.
Let's talk about Ohio then. Okay, Tunde, you ready? Let's get into them Nina Turner joints. Hold on, let me go scroll it down. Yes, y'all, we got some Black progressives on the ballot. We're not just going to actually just talk about Nina Turner. Can we hold Nina? Can we put a pin in Nina real quick? Marcus, because I want to share with our audience an announcement. I'm gonna call her a friend of the show because she's been on the show several times, and her energy is amazing, and her spirit says nothing but I am about it for the city of Louisiana. The city of Louisville. I'm getting my L's and my Louis confused. Louisville. West End, stand up, y'all. Attica Scott, the only Black woman representative in the Kentucky state legislature, has announced that she is running for Congress.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. And I want us to take a look. This is Attica Scott's announcement, her campaign announcement video. It's 2 minutes and some change, but fuck it. We give Attica Scott all the time she needs on this here program, because Attica Scott has proved herself to be all about Black people freedom out here. So Tunde, if we could please check out Attica Scott's campaign announcement video that she is running for Congress.
Louisville needs a leader who sees its true colors and understands the experiences of all of our neighbors. Some issues are black and white. How can we allow such extreme poverty to exist in the same city where there is so much wealth? We need a leader who sees this glaring inequality, has the empathy to understand it, and the resolve to address it. At its core, it's a question of green. Some people have lots. Others can't even get a decent minimum wage. That's something I've been fighting for since my time as an organizer. And that is why I will never stop fighting for a Green New Deal, because the pursuit of environmental justice will usher in a whole new economy of good, family-sustaining jobs. Oh, in this area, it needs to be a lot more green. Toxins, pollution. Listen, cancer doesn't discriminate, it just kills. Louisville, it's time to decriminalize another kind of green, a green that puts too many of our people in orange. My dad, my brother, so many good folks caught up in the cycle of incarceration, including me and my daughter, who were unfairly arrested while marching for justice. Enough is enough. But there's so much good in Louisville. We have so many colors to celebrate and colors to be proud of too. But there are also colors that remind us that the fight for justice continues. And that has been the cause of my life. Looking back, it's a life that's made me humble enough to serve, wise enough to lead, and strong enough to fight. And now we're fighting for them. I see Louisville's true colors in their faces, and we owe them a Louisville where every child feels comfortable enough to show their wondrous colors. Louisville, my name is Attica Scott, and here is my message to you. Let's stay joyful, let's stay hopeful, and let's take our energy and power to Congress.
Run, Attica! Run, Attica! Run,
I'm pretty black
I'm
baby.
Attica Scott, and I approve this message.
All the pretty black babies. You can't be bad at that at all, can't you, Kim? All the pretty
That's
black
right.
children.
That's right. Look at all them beautiful Black children in Louisville surrounding Attica Scott. And she wasn't lying. I mean, she and her daughter got arrested, treated pretty badly by Louisville police last year during the protests for justice for Breonna Taylor. They tried to lie and said that Marcus, the police tried to say that she was trying to burn down the library or cause property damage to the library in her own district. I mean, just the levels of audacity that the police took with her, trying to so-called put her in her place. But Attica continues to rise, and now she's going to run for Congress. And I love the fact that it's her and Charles Booker will be running for Congress in the same cycle. So that's exciting, I think. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Charles Booker and Attica. First off, I do know a little bit about the sister, and being on and just being what these conservative states produce is unapologetic, really unapologetic conservatives. I mean, Democrats and leftists that are about the people first. And you know, the only thing that can happen in these things is what typically happens with the establishment, and that is they try to throw someone who's a moderate into these elections just because they see momentum happening from Black folks.
Amy McGrath.
Yeah, Amy McGrath, and I mean, like, and do nothing. You know, sort of like stick figure of politicians who are super well funded and utilize all these amazing leftist talking points, but yet are just working blatantly for capitalism. Charles Booker is a problem, and the Democratic establishment knows it, and the Republican Party knows it. Because what people want in these super red states are progressive politics that actually counter the bullshit that has been going on. Not moderate politics that actually says, yeah, we want more of we just want a little bit less of the Republican Party. We don't want to go to the left. Like, people want the exact opposite. It's a call for equity. It's a call for actually fixing the problems that the Republicans have put us in. Louisville has some of the poorest neighborhoods in America. Point blank, period. Right. And that comes from adverse poverty from policies that Mitch McConnell's of the world and the Republican supermajority of state representatives, what they do. Right. We need politicians that are going to actually step up and be like, you know what, Medicare for all, and fuck it. You know what? We're going to defund the police, and we're going to figure out, because they still haven't proven that defund the police statistically has made anyone lose a race yet, by the way. You know that, right?
Absolutely. But Joe Biden is determined to prove that the Democrats are emphatically not in favor of defunding the police, because he keeps giving the police more money. But to circle back to what your point about like someone like Charles Booker, I'm assuming you're saying Charles Booker is a problem because he can raise money, shawty.
Well, I think that I think he's a problem more than just him being able to raise money, because he has name ID. Charles Booker is a problem because he had $200,000 and almost beat a super well-funded, well-machined campaign that had everybody and their mama, and capitalists, like literally capitalism came and sat on Amy McGrath's campaign board and was like, okay, we're going to canvass. Take my picture here. My name is Chevron, and this is Amy McGrath. And I endorse this message, right? Like that's the level of fuckery that happened, and Booker almost beat that with $200,000, meaning that it is evident that when you run a smart campaign, and Kim, I always go into this, and I'll go into it briefly because I don't want to stick on it, but this is important. How you run campaigns show whether you're a capitalist or not. If you spend your campaign dollars, if you spend your campaign dollars on television ads instead of spending your campaign dollars on people, then you're running a moderate Democratic campaign, right? Because the people, like even in campaigns, the microcosm of a campaign, you have very rich white consultants that do television commercials, and they expect their $400,000. Now, if you only have $1 million budget and you give your television consultant $600,000, that means you only have basically $400,000 for the people. Now, there's many, many ways to talk to voters, and I feel that what's more effective is you actually pay people from the neighborhoods, from the communities, to go and knock on doors and actually win campaigns, and that's what Charles Booker did. And he almost destroyed the whole Democratic campaign machine with the kind of campaign he ran. Yeah, he almost destroyed it just because he took his little money and said, "Oh, fuck it, we're gonna put it in the field. We're gonna put it like we gonna pay black people, and they're gonna pass my message around the state." And McGrath was on television. Spent $100 million on television, right? That is what. So even in campaigns, there is a moderate way of doing things and a progressive way of doing things. And to be honest with you, paying black folks, no matter what you're doing, is always progressive.
Always. And, Marcus, because I want us to move on to Nina Turner's race. Obviously, it's extremely interesting to watch. But this is important also because Molly just hit me up and said that I will die mad forever about that campaign, Amy McGrath versus Charles Booker, and the way that the Democratic establishment just came in and just basically undercut Charles Booker, or basically outspent him in a way, flooded him in a capitalist way, as you mentioned. And he was just simply overwhelmed, but he came so close to achieving that primary win. What does the establishment Democrats, what do the National Democratic Party get wrong about these so-called red places? Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems that Democrats, Joe Manchin notwithstanding, even though he's pretty much a Republican, but it just seems as though from the national perspective, the Democrats are very happy to sort of concede these places to Republicans and not even really want to offer them a serious challenge. I mean, Charles Booker would have been way more a formidable challenge to Rand Paul than Amy McGrath ever was. Right. And still they castrated his campaign basically, or kneecapped him. Like, how is the Democrat, like, what kind of strategy is this? Like, you want to keep undermining your progressive candidates, the possible future of your party for what? The same establishment go nowhere is what?
Right. It is a very simple equation, and that is to mute progressive policies, especially if it's an upset victory against one of the most evil elected officials of all times. They don't want that narrative to get out there at all, right? So they much rather lose doing nothing than win doing something. It's a very simple equation. When you have a state like Kentucky that's been bred forever, not purple, but red, right? Mm-hmm. When you have a state like that, there's no middle. There's no moderates anymore. There's no moderate Republicans. There's no moderate Democrats for real. There's a small amount of moderate Democrats. There's no moderate Republicans. What it is a bunch of, all right, a bunch of we're going to wear a hood KKK Republicans versus a bunch of progressive people because they were forced to be progressive. Hey, I like Medicare for all because we've never had health care. Hey, I like the Green New Deal because we've never had clean water. Hey, we like, free college and education because we've never had free college and education. We wanted to fund the police because they kill us here, right? There's no moderate version of that. There's no moderate version of being able to live your life freely. There's not a moderate version. There's no moderate platform to help people who need help actually have help and policies that back that up. There's only progressive policies. There's only progressive policies that can fix what Mitch McConnell does. So if you either like Mitch McConnell, you want him in. If you don't like Mitch McConnell, you're the exact opposite of Mitch McConnell, which is progressive, right? He's not a moderate Republican. He's an extreme conservative, right? You need an extreme progressive to counter that. And the Democratic Party, what they don't get right about that is that they don't want those talking points. When pharmaceutical companies write your talking points and send you checks behind those talking points, you think you're talking about Medicare for all? Hell no. Right? When all of the evil empire people are writing the talking points, don't think that they're going to support the things that could actually help them lose money just to win an election. And plus, he's a black man. We don't want your black ass in there.
Bottom line. It's the bottom line. Well, I don't know. It just seems as though a progressive platform would do well in a place like Kentucky for all the issues that you just named. Environmental issues, the issues of access to clean air and water, good access to health care, better quality education. I mean, all of those things I think would even appeal to a so-called conservative Kentucky voter, because that's some everyday basic shit that impacts them daily, right? That's not a pro-life, pro-choice sort of, culture war sort of discussion. No, this is some shit that affects me in my everyday life. I don't know, the Democrats, they just on a losing strategy, Marcus. Like I'm trying to prepare myself for Republican rule, probably for the next, 4 to 10 years, because Democrats have screwed the pooch so badly. People are just not going to turn out for them, yo. That's just my take. Now, I don't know. You the political insider. You know better than I.
No, I gotta, at this point, as hard as this is for me to sort of admit, it's not even hard for me to admit, but I am. Let me back up real quick. Kim,
what?
You're right. Yvette, Carnell, if you're listening, you're right. Antonio, you're right. A lot of people that I've been in November and December, when folks were like, what you gonna do? And I went right back to Biden. And I'm not gonna apologize for that, but I also realize the lack of accountability that these guys are willing to put. Like you can't, if you're gonna vote for Biden, you better be like Marcus and have this level of ether and fire that I have for holding him accountable. But no, they gaslit us into voting for this guy and then give him passes and allow the only black thought that's in the room to be James Clyburn. So I say that yeah, that's right. That's the black guy. James Clyburn is the black community, right? That's him. He's the whole thing. He's the whole goddamn black community. Jim Clyburn. I was a good man from South Carolina. James Clyburn. To answer your question, I think like this right here, the Democratic Party. There's two lines of thought that I'm leaning towards more so. The first line of thought is the Nina Turners of the world, where she's running as a Democrat. She's never given up her Democrat, her being a Democrat to the despise of the moderates that are against her. She's always been a Democrat. You have to change it. If you plan on doing it, you have to change it from within, or you just got to let it go. Or you just got to let it go, because how many times we're going to take our votes for granted and then come back to us in October saying, hey, yeah, Kirsten Sinema and Kirsten Sinema wasn't the real thing. You didn't see her. That didn't really happen. She didn't block the filibuster. Democrats are good. And to be honest with you, like Manchin and Sinema are literally 1955 Democrats. Right the fuck now.
And guess what? And they are the two most powerful Democrats in the whole fucking city. They have more power than Chuck Schumer.
But they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be, but they are.
The reason why they shouldn't be because there was a lot more Democrats like that when LBJ was president. There was a lot more Democrats like that. But guess what LBJ did? He said, all right, guys, look, y'all ain't ever going to get anything passed with me unless y'all do what I need y'all to do right now. Ever. I will veto your kid, you having sex with your wife. I will veto I will veto everything. You're not allowed to have a goddamn thing until you sign on to the civil rights legislation. We forget something else important also. Whatever happened to executive orders? God damn it, like, okay,
Republicans started complaining and then Joe Biden backed down because, he's in the spirit of bipartisanship. He wants to work with Republicans and why? To his folly, he wants to work with Republicans. Yeah, he did back off those executive orders quite a bit fast.
Yeah, well, they're capping. That's why. Because because listen here, right? You got I want everybody to follow this theory real quick. If James Clyburn is the black person in the room when Joe Biden is making a decision about something.
Yeah.
And see, Joe Biden is just old enough and just a little bit crazy enough to just actually do something. I don't think he is in his right mind, honestly. And I'm not trying to pick on him. I just don't think that I think that he might be at that age where he's like, fuck it. Whatever anybody else says, I'm gonna do it.
But of course, whatever Jim Clyburn says, because Jim Clyburn is basically the reason he's president, right?
Well, look at the leadership they brought. Look at the leadership that they brought in with their black people meeting. Like, oh yeah, by the way, they had a black people meeting the other week, right? You remember the black people meeting, Kim? Look at what the leadership they brought in
last week, or they had a different black people meeting because they had
a black people meeting last week, right? With your uncles and aunties and the people who were watching the Cosby Show talking about you, drugging them women that was just a normal thing back then. Like those are all your congressional Black Caucus homies. No cap, Marcus. Hey, listen, I know you digging deep, right? Listen, you can go on my Facebook page and see my neoliberal days. All right, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's how I got.
You turned it up at the CBC dinner, a freedom dinner.
Listen. Hey, Jeff Weaver saw my little neoliberal resume and was like, "Oh, he'll fit perfectly over here."
So you're hilarious. Quick shout out to Tasia, shout out to Chuck Diesel. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I appreciate you. You're rocking with Burning Down with Kim Brown, special guest Marcus Ferrell, Clickbaity, the political thirst trap. If you haven't already subscribed to Clickbaity, please go over there and give them brothers a subscriptions. Marcus, I want us to move up, if we could, into Ohio, where early voting is already underway for Ohio's 11th congressional special election, the election to replace Marcia Fudge, who has, been tapped by the Biden administration to serve in their cabinet. And it's coming down to the wire between Nina Turner and Chantel Brown. Chantel Brown, I think, is a Cuyahoga County council person.
Yeah, and also the chair of the Democratic Party there too.
She one of them Jack and Jill ass niggas. Yes,
that's right. That's right.
So it has been going down. Now, Nina, for the most part, has enjoyed a pretty decent lead, but as we get down to the wire, those polls are closing a bit. But hold on, I wanted us to take a look at Nina Turner actually, because Nina just hit a key fundraising goal that she was trying to meet. Tunde, could you slap up D2 for me, please, and take it full screen?
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Nina Turner raised $2.27 million in the past 3.5 months in the Ohio 11 special election. She raised $4.5 million since launching her bid, with $1.3 million last month alone. Her average contribution is $27. Plus, 1 out of every 7 donors are reoccurring. Congratulations to Nina Turner. That's that from Ali Mutrick, who is a reporter covering such things. And Nina actually released a video to her supporters earlier today where she thanked them. And I'm going to say us, because I've already disclosed to my audience that I give Nina Turner $10 a month. Huh?
I maxed out.
Oh, did you? See, I'm too poor to max out, Marcus. You a balling ass nigga, but it's cool. So this is what Nina Turner had to say. I love taking shots at you rich niggas. That shit makes my day. That shit makes my day. I love it. Tunde, can we please look at, I believe, D3? This is Nina Turner speaking to her supporters today on her social media.
Many, many thanks to the grassroots leaders in my district, in the state, and all over the country for your support of our campaign and for you helping us reach our goal. We set a goal and was able to raise over $100,000 in less than 24 hours, and it is because of people just like you. So continue to pour into this campaign. Your time, your talent, and your treasure is making a difference. I'm just so excited right now. I'm outside my campaign headquarters on a major street. So you're gonna hear traffic going back and forth, but I had to pause for a moment to say thank you. We are in GOTV mode, so that is making calls, that is text messaging, that is knocking doors, that is making investments into this campaign. And I'm gonna tell you something, progressive movement, conscious-minded movement, freedom fighters, you come through each and every time. So I thank you for all that you're doing. We got 19 more days to go in this primary election. We gonna bring this thing on home because we are going to do great things together. Love.
Nina Turner. Nina Turner, everybody. Yes.
It's gonna win. She's gonna win.
Hey, I want her to win too, Marcus. But the problem is, Tunde, if we could please, it's the Hill article. Soon, bitch. It is yes, D6. Thank you. So D6, you guys, this is an article from the Hill this week, which details that there are 2 polls that have been recently conducted that show that Shontel Brown, who is Nina Turner's opponent in this special election, has been gaining ground. According to the Hill, there was an internal poll conducted by the Cuyahoga County, I cannot say Cuyahoga for shit, but Cuyahoga County Democratic Party conducted, yes, by it was done between July 6th and July 8th among 400 likely Democratic primary special election voters, and it shows that Turner with 43% of the vote and Brown's campaign gaining traction with 36% of the vote. Now, Marcus, of course, should come as no surprise to anybody that the Democratic establishment has been getting behind Shontel Brown. They seem to be very committed to making sure that Nina Turner takes an L in this special election. And Tunde, could you pop up D4 for me, please? Now, Marcus, this should give you you already know what time it is, but let me tell everybody else. D4, take that joint full screen, bruh. Let everybody know who the establishment is picking. This is a tweet from the CDC PAC. Marcus, you sound like my drunk uncle once he got too much Jack Daniels in his cup. The CBC PAC is proud to endorse Shontel M. Brown for Congress. There's that.
Like Nina ain't a black woman.
Bro, I'm not even going to go there because let me go there temporarily because you know where I'm be at here, Marcus, and you probably already know the saga with this whole debacle of Donna Edwards, former Democratic congressperson out here in Maryland. Now she's a Democratic mouthpiece and very disappointed in Donna Edwards. But Donna Edwards used to be with the shits and she is no longer with the shits because she got reined in. But that is neither here nor there. The point is Donna Edwards attempted to run for Senate here in the state of Maryland to become the first black woman senator in the state of Maryland from the state of Maryland. And the Congressional Black Caucus failed to endorse her, de facto endorsing her opponent, a white man, Chris Van Hollen. So ever since then, it has been fuck the Congressional Black Caucus, bunch of sellout ass niggas who don't even stand with black women, least of all black people. So there's that. But Chantel Brown, Marcus, was out here trying to play fast and loose with some of these endorsements. And she tried to say, well, she didn't try to say, she on her website earlier in the campaign, she had a picture of her and President Obama, which sort of gave but she had it under her endorsement section. Now, Obama has not endorsed anybody in this race, although I think Hillary Clinton has endorsed Chantel Brown in this race.
Wait, the day before election day. Wait.
Do I have that wrong? I'm pretty sure I have that right.
He's gonna come. I put money that like election eve, he gonna drop an endorsement for Chantel.
You think Obama? Of course, Obama would do that, yo. But
yes, absolutely. That's his MO.
But Marcus, hasn't this nigga done enough? Hasn't he done enough?
No, he's not done. He's not done yet. He is not done yet whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like Obama stopped the Milwaukee Bucks from protesting. Like Obama just does his thing. It's like you Negroes better not get out of line. Or no, if Hillary came and Clyburn came, you don't think the God himself, the neoliberal godfather, MC Obama ain't gonna come and drop a verse on that bitch at fucking 12:29 the day before the election? Fuck out of here.
I mean, that seems to be his special talent, is it not? to derail progressive black shit. That is Obama's special talent. What an asshole. Tunde, let me cue up D5 if we could, because Marcus, like I said, Chantel Brown has been paying a little fast and loose with some of these endorsements, and that Obama endorsement is probably forthcoming, as you mentioned. But Garfield Heights councilman, his name is Michael Dudley, I believe. He endorsed Nina Turner, but he was erroneously included in Chantel Brown's list of endorsements. And Councilman Dudley was absolutely not with them shits. Can we see that clip, please, Tunde?
I'm City Councilman Mike Dudley, Ward 1 in the city of Garfield Heights. I'm currently the senior member of Garfield Heights City Council, and I serve as the City Council President Pro Tem. I'm here today because I am a supporter and I am endorsing former Senator Nina Turner for the 11th House Congressional District for the state of Ohio. Nina Turner has always been a fighter for our community. She has fought the battles that others were not willing to fight. Nina came in to help me when I had a situation going on with my seniors not being treated right in the Ward 1 community and the senior assisted living facility. Nina has always stepped in when I have programs. She has made time to come out and support the programs within my ward. We got to understand, this race is very important, not just to me, to everyone. I am very clear that I have endorsed less than 10 electoral candidates within my 14 years in office, because my name means everything to me. But I'm clearly endorsing Senator Nina Turner. As you know, you saw my name out there supposedly endorsing another candidate. That is not true. I haven't signed nothing for endorse any other candidate. My endorsement clearly goes to Nina Turner.
Marcus,
let it be known.
He said, keep my name out your mouth, other lady.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So, Marcus, tell me about your predictions for this race. I mean, the polls close August 3rd, I believe, is going to be the last day. Let me double check that, actually. It's either August 3rd or August the 6th. But the polls are open now for early voting. So early voting is already underway. So if you live in that 11th congressional district in Ohio, kindly get your ass to the polls, especially if you are already registered. I think it's too late to register, but you can still speculate, I guess. I don't know. But Marcus, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, this race is going to be happening for another couple of weeks. It's a special election, but it's a very critical seat. And Nina Turner's voice would be so needed in Congress, especially right now.
This is the most important election this year. Ohio 11th is the most important election for Black people, for Black progressives, and also for the ongoing proxy war that is anything progressive versus Bernie Sanders versus anything that's neoliberal versus Hillary Clinton. That race has never ended. And I want to, Kim, I want to propose something here. being the former Black Outreach Director for Bernie Sanders, and understanding the attempted painting of anyone Black that's progressive as whiteness, right? Because even though they'll say there's not only one way to be Black, to moderate Black Democrats, they think they want to present themselves as the only thing Black. Here's what I'm gonna say to America. Y'all can't beat history. The moderate Democrats can't beat history, and you might be able to do this in every other district in America. But one thing you can't do in the Ohio 11th district is paint Nina out to be a moderate. I mean, to be a white person, to be anti-community, to be anti-Black folks, right? They can do that. They try to do that. They try to paint that picture with any progressive. And in this proxy battle, Black progressives try to pull that card as fast. She's not about the district. Well, you punk ass motherfuckers. Guess what? She was a city councilman and a councilwoman and a state senator in that district. No matter how you try to twist it, no matter how you try to pull it, she got street cred. She got more street cred. Believe it or not, moderates, look me in my face, since y'all love to interject. Let Marcus interject for a second. Hillary, don't nobody give a fuck about Hillary Clinton in that district. Let me tell you something else. Don't nobody give a fuck about James Clyburn in that district. Let me tell you something else. Nobody really cares about your little moderate games that you play. Y'all can dump money in. Of course, the race is getting tight. Kim, when you drop that kind of money on somebody, the race is going to get tight, but she's going to lose. And it's going to be the most beautiful. It's going to be the most beautiful celebration of free Blackness that I've had this year. Once she does, I am going to dance on the graves of my enemies that day when she wins this election, because she's going to win. And it's going to be further proof that the old guard of moderate Democrats are dying off slowly. They keep people picking their head up and trying to drop their little head into games, and they're playing games with people who are a little bit more established within the community. So James Clyburn, yeah, we'll see you in Ohio. The GOTV weekend. Don't nobody know you there. It's not South Carolina, bro. It's not Charleston, bro. Stay your ass over there and get some crab rice in South Carolina, bro.
Right. And James Clyburn ain't no draw. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I, an Ohioan, come out to go see James Clyburn, yes, sir, no, sir, his way through a speech? No, I'm good. I'm 100% good on that. And you're right. Some of these moderate or more establishment Democrats, which again, to me, it sounds ridiculous, because I guess I'm just more radical than the rest of them. But like, to even think that Nina Turner is like caping for she's in whiteface or blackface somehow. It's like, all right, well, y'all saw her address thousands of white supporters at all these Bernie rallies, but y'all must have got the game fucked up, because she is good in Cuyahoga County and on Cleveland's east side. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nina is good out here. And I hope that people just continue to show up in early voting and try to deliver her this W, because it would really, it's going to send a shot across the bow to those moderate establishment Democrats. And here's my thing, Marcus. I just don't want Nina to get elected and then join the Congressional Black Caucus. Like, that's where I feel as though progressives and would-be radicals just go to get completely co-opted and have everything that they ran for and ran on just dissolve from underneath them. So I hope she does not join the Congressional Black Caucus.
Well, I disagree with you there.
Tell me why.
Yeah, I absolutely disagree with you on that. Like, first off, the Congressional Black Caucus PAC and the Congressional Black Caucus are two different things. And what I mean by that is that all the Black people that are in the squad are a part of the CBC. And I know that some of the proxy battles that they play within the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm not sitting up here saying they win shit. I'm not sitting up here saying they affect policy at all. But for them to abandon the CBC when sometimes the progressives in the CBC are the only ones that say, are we really selling out our whole ass community for Amazon? Like, there does need to be voices in the room. Now, and that's just my opinion. Like, and I don't think that you can co-opt Nina. I don't think that's possible. I don't
Everybody
think
gets co-opted. That's the problem. That's part of the reason why I don't want her to join the CBC specifically. I mean, like everybody. I mean, just look at who was it? Jamal Bowman. It was Jamal Bowman, AOC, and who was the third Democrat, so-called, of the squad who failed to vote against the increasing of the Capitol security funding bill. Which inevitably would have gave more money to the Capitol Police, U.S. Capitol Police, Secret Service, et cetera. But instead of voting no, they voted present, right? That's co-optation. Right. They all those candidates, Bowman, AOC, and the third is escaping me. I don't think it was Ayanna Pressley. I think Ayanna Pressley actually voted no. It was Rashida Tlaib, if I'm not mistaken. Rashida Tlaib voted present.
Right.
Fuck,
I mean,
Marcus?
I mean, yeah. And here's the thing. Like, check this out. I get that, right? But I also get the statement that, I mean, she could AOC that thing and burn it down from within until because AOC got a little co-opted too. But she can AOC it and be like, listen, I was just in your favorite CBC meeting, and Jim Clyburn told us all that we needed to vote against giving you a pay raise because we don't get to hear the stories about what happens within the CBC. We only see the results. Eventually, we need a spook behind the door, and also it brings up a conundrum for the CBC by her being in that, and that conundrum is very simple, right? Like, everybody's not on the same page, right? I want to see the CBC get burned down a little bit from the inside, right? Like, I do, because I don't want everybody to be in lockstep. And that whole thought process of the CBC is the conscience of Congress. No, it's not. It's the conscience of Wall Street. It's a Wall Street pass, right? So you don't necessarily have to like go in lockstep with the CBC in order to be a part of it. That's all I'm saying. Is like, to me, she has to be in the CBC to expose them niggas. That's.
But see, I hear what you're saying, but then I look at Donna Edwards as a cautionary tale. Like, Donna Edwards was a part of the CBC. She did not vote in lockstep with them, and when she was trying to level up and run for Senate, them niggas didn't stand up for her. They said, "Oh, you don't want to vote with us? Cool, we going to endorse."
But that's gonna happen anyway, Kim. But Kim, that's gonna happen anyway, sis. Like, that's gonna happen no matter what.
Nina should
Whether she's in the
bypass them
CBC
niggas. Don't even
not.
waste her time.
Right. Well, no. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, first, no matter what Nina Turner does, if she decides to run for Senate, if she decides to run for president, no matter what happens, there's going to be a large segment of black elected officials who go along to get along that's going to be against her no matter what. Hillary Clinton is going to tell her $200 million donors to not give her any money and not give anybody money who helps her out, and they won't. And you're risking your reelection in your little contested district because you're doing that. Meanwhile, but we know that's coming whether she's in the CBC or not. Whatever they're going to do to Nina, they're going to do it to her. They're doing it. They're already doing it, right? They're
doing it to me. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, they're doing it now. Like, so what's the point of, let's slap them in the face by showing up to their little private party, right? And Nina actually going in there and saying, "Yep, nah, I like Medicare for all, and here's why." Right? We got a better way of, because there is a spectrum of black elected officials, and I'm not gonna cap on that one, right? Some of them are completely capitalist. Some of them are completely progressives. Some of them are in this gray area of, well, sometimes we're going to do it and sometimes we're not. We'll fight for police reform, but we'll damn sure let Walmart call the cops on your black ass, right? Like, there's a level of it. We need more allies than we just niggas who, and if they can't become allies, then we call them out. But how do we know this? And I'm a person who was involved with the CBC. I don't know how they make their decisions. It's going to take a congressperson to actually call folks out within this bill benefits African Americans. This bill benefits African Americans. This is what happened with ADOS. This is what happened with reparations conversation within the CBC meeting. Here's the guy that stopped it, and here's why he stopped it. We don't know that. All we know is the CBC is against it, but it would be great to know that James Clyburn said X, Y, and Z towards reparations. That's why I think that we need to have her in the CBC. But I mean, it's cool to disagree with me.
So there's one other race that I want us to look at, and heads up, Tunde, we're gonna forego that third block just because we are kind of deep in the hour. Gang, we are going to do my cops ain't shit segment on Tuesday because I want to get into it, and it'll take me a good amount of time to do that. But there was one other thing I wanted to touch on with Marcus, and that is the election for the next mayor of New York City. And, you know, progressives really had high hopes for Bill de Blasio. And Bill de Blasio disappointed progressives pretty much at every turn, especially where concerned defunding the police and any type of police reform. De Blasio and the New York City Council continued to give the NYPD increased money pretty much every year de Blasio was in there. But he's out of there now, or will be soon as a result of term limits. And they got a new nigga coming in there. This nigga name is Eric Adams. And I'm gonna confess to you, Marcus, and everybody else, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to that New York City mayoral Democratic primary. It was just a little too busy. It was too crowded. But when everything shook out and the smoke cleared and here was Eric Adams, I said, this dude was like, this is who y'all picked. Eric Adams was at that Black people meeting that you referenced earlier, Marcus, at the White House last week, where Joe Biden invited all the, you know, all the lofted Negroes to Washington to talk about the issue of gun violence, the same issue they've been talking about for 50 fucking years. And gun violence doesn't never seem to abate. Neither does the amount of guns on the street, but that's neither here nor there. But this is what Eric Adams had to say as he was leaving that meeting of lofted Black folks invited by Joe Biden. Let's take a look at that today.
We spent too much time looking at the role the police play. And as a former police officer, as a former, as you say, Republican, as a current Democrat, as a former person who was arrested and beat by police officers, I'm so many formers, I'm trying to figure out the current. One thing I'm clear about, the prerequisite to prosperity is public safety and justice. And if we don't have them both together, it doesn't matter how many police officers you put on the streets. We can't continue to respond to symptoms. It's time to respond to the underlying causes of violence in our city. This president is making it clear he's going to redefine the ecosystem of public safety, and that includes identifying the role of police, schools, families, resources, employment. This is where we need to go as a country. And I have to take my hat off to this president. Why did it take so long before we heard the gunshots that families were listening and hearing every night? Other communities were waking up to alarm clocks. Communities of Black, brown, and poor people are waking up to gunshots. And this president said, this is not the America we're going to live in. And that is why I'm here. And I'm so proud to have been part of this meeting. And I'm proud of the...
That clip, courtesy of NY1 News. Marcus, you know, any nigga that come out his mouth dick riding Joe Biden is a nigga whose credibility needs to be immediately questioned. And shout out to Celeste in the chat who said that Eric Adams is going to be Giuliani 2.0. What is your take on Eric Adams? And because he, as the Democratic primary winner, is largely expected to easily become the next mayor. I think the Republican opponent is some Trumper, some like former, like what's the name of the street, the white people street gang, the Red Angels. What's the name of them niggas?
Hell's.
No. He wasn't a biker. I'm talking about the ones that thought they was like half-ass vigilantes and shaking down people.
I don't know, Kim. I don't be following white people like that.
Anyway, what is your take on Eric Adams? Because he seemed like the police to me.
The first thing that I noticed about that brother when I did my research was one of the major statements he believed in was bringing back stop and frisk, right? And he said he wants to bring back stop and frisk, right? And no matter how you look at it, that was a policy that you can't train your way out of. You can't train racism out of people, right? Second thing is your Black ass didn't go up in the White House and say one thing: we need a federal jobs guarantee. Because if you want to talk about crime and how you reduce crime by having people have jobs and guaranteed jobs. But you didn't say that. You're not putting one and one together. So therefore, this brother's taking the onus that criminality within the black community is something that's organic. It comes directly from the black community. He's not mentioned any kind of jobs program. He's not mentioned any type of way that brothers and sisters in impoverished communities that are creating crimes can better themselves in a legal way. He didn't say anything about legalizing cannabis, marijuana, cocaine, whatever, like Oregon, which we saw in those states, the crime rate went down as soon as they did that. He's not talking about the systematic things that actually changes society for the people who are committing crimes and violence within our neighborhoods, right? He's not providing those options. What he did was he centered policing. And he didn't say anything about major reforms of policing. He just said, I got beat up too. So what? How about the families that actually got killed? Family members who got murdered by a cop, right? You still haven't addressed the bad cop issue, right? And when you do address it, when he did address it, it was in a half-hearted way. He has the full support of NYPD behind him. Guys, burn it down, folks. The full support of NYPD?
Right. How, NYC? New York, how did this happen? Like, all I heard about was Eric Adams and Andrew Yang. Like, they did. Where's all the radicals? Like, where was the real progressives? What happened? Y'all got y'all about to have somebody worse than Bill de Blasio.
That's right. And we do it to ourselves because we go, when progressives get elected, they go half-ass. They always do. They always like progressives compromise with moderates, like moderates compromise with Republicans. And we gotta stop doing that. We gotta be the hardcore left, like Mitch McConnell's the hardcore right. We gotta lie, cheat, steal, scratch, beat, fight, pillar, pillage. We got to do everything that the Republicans do on their side of the house when we get power. And we refuse to do that because I'm going to say like this right here, toxic whiteness rules the progressive party, progressives, instead of it being centered on blackness. Because if we were centered on blackness, you ain't got no time to be playing around with these folks about Medicare for all. Our babies are dying. Right, you ain't got no time to be messing around with police reform. Oh, we don't need to say defund the police. Well, then what do we say? Slowly take money away from the police so they won't have all the weapons to whip our ass? What do we say here? What are we doing, Kim?
Marcus, the problem is Democrats are fine with the way things are. They are fine with it. They are. The only reason that they sometimes are not fine with it is when their constituents begin to push them, grab them by the collar, shake them and say, what the fuck are y'all doing? Then it's like, then it's time for us to mobilize. You got to get in the streets. All that bullshit Obama be talking. Get in the streets, redouble your efforts. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Like, you are part of the reason why we are in this conundrum as we are. But no, I think progressives, they get stymied by the gatekeepers who are the establishment Democrats, right? Like someone like Anita Turner, you know what I mean? She's running as a Democrat and the Democrats are firmly running against her, right?
Right.
And that is eventually going to work to the Democrats' demerit because people are going to stop, number one, trying to work with the Democratic Party. And then people like myself who are more likely to be Democratic voters, even though I'm not a registered Democrat, are just going to say, fuck the Democrats altogether. Shorty, I'm going to start writing Ghostface Killer in on my ballots. Like, it's
right.
Shorty, I'm going to be writing in the whole Wu-Tang Clan for city council because I'm fed up. You know what I mean? I'm fed up with this half-assedness from this political party who begs and then will try to shame me for not voting for them and then will not do any of the agenda that they ran on. I mean, the fact that Biden and those Georgia Democrats just lied about that $2,000 stimulus. I mean, they are really underestimating how much $600 is going to come back and bite them in the ass. Because it's like, nigga, y'all lied. Like y'all told me a lie about something simple. How the fuck am I supposed to trust you about anything big?
How can I go back to the bank again? Like as an organizer, right? As a black organizer that went up in black barbershops with niggas who don't give a fuck and know more about politics than most elected officials, right? How do I go back into their barbershop this time? What are you gonna say? What's the next barbershop tour gonna be? Oh well, we almost did something. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like I took a selfie in the White House when I was there. You need to vote for me again. What the fuck are you gonna? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And the reason and it's gonna be hard because I got too much integrity to sell my people a dream twice. Come on. I got too much integrity for that. Like y'all can do this one without me. You know, you're not giving us any kind of talking points. You let Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin act like they're the fucking president of the country instead of like, you know, forcing them using your politics to attack toxic whiteness that is the moderate Democratic Party. Y'all are so used to wanting to be next to Republicans. Republicans don't like us. Republicans were talking shit about y'all in the primaries and in the general election. Don't y'all remember that? And all of a sudden you turn around and you want to work with these guys? I can't sell that to black people anymore. And I'm talking as an organizer. I can't go back to the well and sell that. And if you think about it, they spent $800 million in January on the special elections in Georgia. $800 million. That's a lot of goddamn money to impress folks who you need to do something for. Like if you're spending that kind of money, you might want to do what you say you're going to do because you don't want to spend that kind of money again. What you're going to spend $1.6 billion to sell your bullshit that you haven't done anything to sell the child tax credit, which is good.
It is good.
Right now, the only accomplishment and I'm thinking about black people in Georgia. Right now, the only accomplishment you got is a child tax credit. Well, let me tell you something about that child tax credit. If that's the only thing that you're going to pass. 18-year-old to 24-year-old African Americans had the largest increase in the state of Georgia during that special election. Those black people are the reason why they won. Most of them black people don't got kids. Most of them black people don't even like. So what if Joe Biden relieves college debt? They didn't go to college. These voters are black people who are living life expecting cops not to whip their ass and want to smoke a blunt on the corner whenever the fuck they want to. Do something about it, Joe Biden. Give me something to sell to these people. If you want to be there, but you can't even give us something to sell, right? And I'm talking as an organizer. You can't, and that's not what the old guard Democrats who the black people meeting are going there and saying. They're basically saying, "Oh, it's gonna be all good. You just make sure you give me some of that money so I can buy my organizer some pieces and shit like that."
Listen,
like
those 18 to 24-year-old Georgians are the ones most likely to not forget that Joe Biden still owes them $600 fucking dollars.
That's right.
I mean, like, nigga, you still owe me money. I don't want to hear shit else out your mouth until you run me my money, Joe Biden. And the Democrats really don't seem to understand that is going to be a big hurdle for them. Because I'm still mad about the shit, nigga, and I'm old, okay? Like, I want my $600. I'm not no bullshit. But listen, Marcus, we have gone so deep into overtime, but it has all been worth it because I enjoy your company. I enjoy your conversation. I enjoy your tremendously sharp insight and analytics. And again, you've been working on the inside. I mean, you've been working inside the belly of the beast. So you know what kind of time these motherfuckers is on. And now you outside the belly of the beast and you can crystal clear see what kind of time these niggas is on. So I'm so appreciative that you actually made some time to come over and hang out and talk about some stuff and talk about some very impactful races. Because I'm watching this Nina Turner race big time because Nina better win, shorty. Or we got to go to Ohio and we're going to be like the Black Proud Boys and stand over niggas' shoulders and see how they voted and shit. Like, wait. That's wrong. Sorry. That's
right. And thank you for having me, Kim. It's always a pleasure. Can I plug my thingy in one more? Can I plug my please go, guys and gals, go watch Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap Tuesdays and Thursdays. Make sure that you come and check out our if you go to our Patreon page tonight, we're having an Ask Me Anything in about 30 minutes. At 7:00, we're going to have an Ask Me Anything, which y'all have been waiting for. And I apologize that we've been capping on y'all for so long, but we're finally going to do it. And also, if you could, show some support to restorativeroots.org. And you can catch us on all platforms, restorativeroots.org. That is my Black-owned cannabis company. And soon there'll be opportunities for normal people to invest in the real way of making sure that African Americans are involved in the legal cannabis industry. So y'all check me out, and Kim, please make sure you have me back anytime you want.
Thank you, Marcus. And real quick, are y'all gonna expand? Y'all gonna do magic mushrooms? Because I'd like to invest in those.
Yeah, so psilocybin is awesome. I'm not ready for that yet. I gotta conquer one thing at a time, and until I get at least 40 Black growers that can actually grow cannabis from beginning to the end, that's when I'm going to move on to other things. But my goal is to actually educate African Americans on how to grow cannabis at a major scale, because grow and also produce, and also make sure that we know the business, right, and we know how to run dispensaries and all those good old things that we really need to actually make some money, because this is our reparations. And these people keep telling us that we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. Well, let me throw a seed in the ground so I can make these hemp boots.
And please free all political prisoners, free all the people that is still in jail right now serving time for marijuana possession or distribution or anything like that. You don't talk about reparations. Let our people go. Let our people go. So Marcus, thank you so much. You guys tune into the Clickbaity AMA coming up at 8:00, gang. That is on Patreon. Exclusive. Gang, this has been a fantastic program. I'm so thankful that all y'all showed up. Radical Leftist Agenda. Shirley, I seen you in there. Celeste, Pookiewood, Craig, Bardo, Latif. Thank you, Latif. You always show up and show us a bunch of support. And we got some new faces in here as well. What's up, Miss Nori? What's up, Anna? What's up, Fanny French? You know who I'm talking about. And of course, Northern Witch, all of our good people. Courtney, the SLP Pimp C. What's up? Hey, y'all, we out of here. I will see y'all back on Tuesday. Again, we ran a little bit over time, so tune in on Tuesday for my Cops Ain't Shit segment. It's going to be a new segment that we do here every week, because the cops make it real easy to point out how they clearly ain't shit. So tune in Tuesday for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Cops Ain't Shit. Also, gang, don't forget, I think it's tonight, or is it Tuesday? I'm not sure. Either tonight over on the Black Power Media channel, Renegade Culture and Riot Starter TV. Be sure to check those out. And all the Black Power Media family is actually down in Atlanta this weekend. So shout out to Kalanji, shout out to Ear Doctor, Dr. CBS, Dr. Layla Brown, Jared's down there, Kamal. So subscribe to Black Power Media as well. Of course, we hold it down across these YouTube streets. So guys, thank you all so much again for all your support. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see y'all right here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown on Tuesday. See y'all later.